If your to-do list feels endless, but your bank account is not reflecting that effort, it's not because you need to do more. It's because you're focusing on the wrong things. Welcome back to the Moxie Movement, and today we're diving into why your to-do list is not shifting the needle in your business. We move on Wednesday this week. We're excited to have a space where I can do my podcast and Scarlett can do her podcast too. As you've noticed, we've started doing some episodes with Johnny as well, because I get a lot of questions about how do you navigate this business, life, parenting, partnership journey with your partner. And so Johnny and I are going to do a series over the next few months of our journeys. We're going to talk about some stories, because a lot of my business stories are also his business stories, and it's nice to see it from the different perspectives as we went through that journey. We're moving into a beautiful home, and it has a lovely office/podcast studio for me downstairs, and also a whole space so that we can have VIP, beautiful clients come and do one-to-one retreats, weekends with us here in Thailand. Excited to start offering that in the not too distant future. We have been navigating Thai bureaucracy, which is surprisingly easy when you get into the immigration department, but figuring out what you're supposed to do beforehand is sometimes a little bit confusing. We have a visa that allows us to be here and work remotely like this for 5 years. We have to leave the country every 6 months and do a 90-day report. Our understanding was that once we'd done the first one in person, we'd driven up to Krabi and all three of us had gone in and shown our faces and shown our passports, we wouldn't have to go in person again. Unfortunately, it resets the clock every time you leave the country and come back in. So anytime we go and do a trip away, and we are using this as a bit of a base to explore Southeast Asia, that resets the clock. And so we had to go and do 90-day reporting. Though they are very big on the family unit here. So happily today, just Johnny got on the motorbike, drove to Krabi, went and checked in with immigration, and we're all stamped in for another 3 months, which is fantastic. We're all heading back to New Zealand for my client event. If you'd like to come along as a guest, we'd love to have you. We are doing that at the Duke in Russell. And of course, if you're a bit further afield and that feels like a stretch too far to travel, although we'd love to see you in person, we have some virtual tickets that will be going live in the not too distant future. So many good things coming up, because we really want to make sure that mums and business are able to go beyond the noise, particularly the way it's been the last 12, 18 months. It's got noisier and noisier in the marketplace. Things feel more contracted and more pressured. And so we want to make sure that you've got all the resources in place so you can stay focused on what you're building, life-wise and business-wise, because the noise doesn't change what you're working on. And if you can stay very focused on that and get beyond that noise, get beyond those stories, I promise you great things will happen. Great businesses are built in times like this. Great businesses aren't built when it's easy. When it was easy and money was flowing, anybody and their monkey can build a business. Right now is when the resilient ones, the ones that are focused on the life that they're building for their families, on the vision that they're creating for their customers, their clients, their guests, and their team, those are the ones that win right now. As a mum in business, you're already spreading your energy thinly across all the different roles that you play. If you then spread it even more thinly in your business, things are going to come unstuck. We see with women using a to-do list is that we do the wrong things at the wrong time. You spending too much time on the wrong work because it's on the to-do list. Now, people have given me all sorts of reasons for why their to-do list is, I'm just getting started, we're just new in business, it's just this stage of business, it's just this insert excuse here. I've been in business for coming up over 20 years now, and the to-do list has never got any shorter. And the reason for that is because we're great at coming up with great ideas, and we're great at coming up with solutions, and we are running these businesses in ever-evolving environments with ever-evolving teams, with ever-evolving clients and customer bases. If you are constantly writing big, long lists of things that you could do in your business as a to-do list, as things you should do, you're going to end up wasting a whole lot of energy on the wrong things. Tweaking documents, tweaking logos, emptying email inboxes, organizing files, all the busy work being the receptionist, being the cook, the cleaner, popping to the shops for your team to get stuff that you need for the office or the warehouse. These are all real life things that I've watched women do in their businesses before we started working together. And it even took me a little while to wean them off once we started working together. But those things are not the right things you want to be doing as the leader in your business. And look, hey, I'm guilty of these things as well. I definitely can be like, oh, I just need to tick some jobs off. Why? Because it's addictive. To-do lists are great because when you tick them off, you get a little dopamine buzz from ticking something off. I know I'm not the only person that's guilty of writing things down on my to-do list just so I can tick them off. Look, I use Asana as my project management tool. They dialed this so well that they have unicorns and what do they call them? Narwhals dive across the page when you tick off enough tasks. So it is very well studied that we get a little dopamine drop from ticking things off the list, and therefore we do the wrong things, because the things that are quick and easy to tick off are generally the things that are quick and easy to do. And in my experience, the quick and easy things to do aren't the things that are moving the needles in your business. You might have to break through some emotional barriers to get some of these tasks done. So there might be simple tasks that you've just built an emotional wall between. Making the phone call to do a follow-up for a sales, having a resetting expectations conversation with a team member. You might be putting these things off for emotional reasons, not because they're hard to do. Physically, they're not going to take a lot of time or effort. It's just you feel some way about it. And so we tend to rock through a list of things that are simple and easy. Clean the office, do the shopping, do the stationery order, be at the reception desk to answer the phone, to cover someone's lunches, cover someone's job because they're sick or if they're away at the moment. It's very easy as the owner to fall into the trap of doing those things, but none of those things are moving the needle for us. While your to-do list stays full, and you can fill every day and some more with something to do, your income, the profit that you're keeping from your business and the money that you get paid for the work you do in your business, the salary you should get paid, isn't matching the workload that you're doing. I want to have a world full of mums who can run businesses, be ambitious about it, and take home a minimum of 6 figures profit and a minimum 6-figure salary in their business at the same time, because that's when we know we're working on the right things at the right time to get us the results. And no, it doesn't happen like that. And if we do it consistently over time, it will happen. When we've got these to-do lists that we're ticking off, is that we're mistaking movement and action for progress in our business. And that's costing you time, energy, and ultimately money, because when we're not putting our time and effort into the right things in our business, it's going to cost us significantly. Maybe a little bit in a day, but more in a week, more in a month, more in a year. We want to make sure that we're getting our energy poured into the right part of our businesses each day, each week. And so that consistent action over time compounds and gives you the results that you're looking for, gives you the systems to run the business without you, gives you a team that works without you micromanaging them all the time, gives you holidays, gives you weekends off, gives you evenings back to sit and relax instead of furiously responding to emails or scheduling work for next week. Because I can watch people tick off 15, 20, 30 tasks a day, collapse into bed at night after getting the kids fed and bathed and hung out the washing, and still feel like they got nothing done. And that's purely because they're ticking off tasks that have nothing to do with the success of their business. None of it moved the needle on their income, and none of it moved the needle on their profitability, and none of it moved the needle on building a better future for the business and ultimately you and your family. We're mistaking busy for productive. It's very, very ingrained in us as women that doing something, anything, makes us worthy. Task lists are filled with work for other people. We have lists of jobs to do each day that feel urgent. And generally, if something's urgent, it's because somebody else has put it on our task list. It's doing something for someone else that they need right now because it's their top priority right now. It doesn't take into consideration what's actually getting a result for you right now. Sometimes the task that feels good to have it ticked off. I see lots of things thrown around like having a strategic plan and a marketing strategy and a brand strategy and a sales strategy and a insert thing here. You don't need a strategy for every single one of them. You have one strategy. That's your overarching strategic plan, and all the rest are action plans that should execute underneath the strategy. If someone's selling you a strategic plan that is just sitting in one part of your business, there's every chance that they came from a corporate background. You don't need that many strategic plans. You just need one, and everything should filter in under that. You should have action plans and projects that are being executed. You're not a big corporate. You don't have a marketing department. If you had a marketing department, you could have a strategy, but you just don't need that. It's just busy work. And so those things feel safe, and experts will tell you that they're useful. But I will tell you, after 20 years in various different small businesses, we don't have multiple different strategies. We have one strategy, one strategic plan that overarches our business. Everything else just helps you feel safe, doesn't actually move the needles. Your lists are filled with these safe tasks that are busy work, these urgent tasks that are other people's work that become your busy work, or things that just feel like validating, things that are nice to do for your team, nice to do for your clients, nice to do for your customers, but maybe aren't the things that you need to be doing that move the profitability needles in your business. If your to-do list isn't linked with your income or your impact in your business, then it's not the right things. And there is much on your list that we could delete, or if that feels too scary, we can just delay it, delegate, so that you're back to focused on just the right things. The biggest resistance is going to come up from you because you've been doing it that way for so long. This change is going to feel uncomfortable. The other thing that people don't look at is go, what actually makes me money? What here is the thing that directly moves the needle in the business? We're in the business of selling overnight cruises or day cruises. And if we get too hung up on getting fancy with what does our bar menu look like, or what does our snack menu look like, or have we got t-shirts and hats and glasses to sell, we've lost sight of what actually makes us money. Because nobody can even see the bar or the snacks or the t-shirt unless they get on the cruise. And so it's really important that we get really drilled down on what actually makes us money. And for most of us, that's selling, that's delivering on the product, that's leading our team to help us sell and deliver with less of us, leveraging our resources, our intellectual property, our systems. So leading and coaching and supporting our teams to get better. For example, our cruise runs completely without Johnny. For years, he was the skipper, and now he's leveraged himself by leading various different team members. Currently, it's Erin as our skipper so that she can run the business without us. And so she's delivering for us, and yes, she's selling some beer and selling some t-shirts maybe and those sorts of things on board, but she's very focused on delivering a 5-star experience, and Johnny's primary role there is to lead her. And then the last one that sits on this list is building assets, either building intellectual property or building systems or building a new way of delivering your service or delivering your product, or potentially building a physical product for some of you. That is all that drives income. Everything else supports that. Marketing supports that. Advertising supports that. Admin supports that. Financials, numbers, accounting supports that. See how limited the things are that actually matter in our business, and everything else plays a supporting role. Are they important? Yes. And if you're spending all your time on advertising, marketing, numbers, and admin, the things that actually make your business work will fall over. The things that will actually have people coming back again and again will fall over. Everything else supports those 4 activities and should never replace them. They should be the priorities in your day, not the other ones. At the Moxie Movement, we don't try and do everything. When we're the leader of the business, the owner of the business, we have critical success factors. And if you're in the day-to-day running of your business right now, that's totally cool. You can have these critical success factors and do the day-to-day in your business, and recognize that if you want to get to a place where your business isn't just surviving, stable, and we say that's where you're keeping more than $20,000 a month from your business is stable, then you are going to have to leverage you with incredibly good systems and technology, or ultimately team members. And they don't need to do your job, but they need to help you do your job more easily. We track critical success factors rather than tasks and activity. Critical success factors are the things that drive your profit, the sustainability of your business, and ultimately your freedom. These critical success factors are the things that are always going to be helping you think about what are the things that drive more income, grow more income, and what are the things I need to do that reduce reliance on me. Because while your business is relying on you, if I can't take you out of your business, pop you somewhere else on an island with no internet, no phone coverage, you don't have a business. You have a really expensive job, probably with employees that you're paying to do work. But if the business can't survive without you, it's not a business yet. And we really need to get to that place where you can go away for a week or a month or 6 months. And when you get back, the business is working better and more efficiently without you than it was with you. And then you can come in and start doing what you do best. Stay in your zone of genius. Be the leader. Be the person delivering to clients or customers or creating product, because that's what you're great at. Instead of being stuck in the day-to-day that actually makes the machine run. How do critical success factors work? Well, every business owner needs to identify what are their 3 critical success factors. We have no more than 3. As you move yourself further and further out of the day-to-day running of your business, you'll have less. But we figure out with our critical success factors what activities must happen to grow revenue or capacity, ideally both, and what tasks can someone else do or is just a distraction and we should be delaying it or deleting it. If it's not a critical success factor inside your business, it's not important. Outside in our life, we do the same. If it's not a highest life priorities, it's not important. If it's not a critical success factor in our business, we're saying no or not right now to it. If you want to start feeling accomplished, replace your to-do list with a set of critical success factors. And want to feel accomplished and profitable, present and profitable, then replace your to-do list with a set of critical success factors and in your life, your highest life priorities, and cross off the right 3 things each day instead of 13 that don't matter. How do we put this into play? The easiest thing is if you have a calendar online or in a book, because I still have clients that do things on paper, totally cool. If it's on your computer, print it out on a 3 page. If it's in a book, this is going to be super easy. Grab a highlighter, run through it and audit the last week, the last month of your calendar and go, hey, what did I do that led to income, that led to long-term impact directly? What were the activities that I did? And then look at the difference between how much time you spent on that and how much time you spent on everything else. The way that we would look at it inside the Moxie movement, I would go, what actions were you taking? What specific tasks or projects were you working on that literally make more money? And what are the ones that are building a better future? And everything else is just noise or stuff that we need to get off your plate as quickly as possible. And we would really like to see the critical success factors being more than half your week every week, not the other way around, which is often what it is, right? Because there's so many admin-y to-do bits inside a business, we can get really bogged down in the wrong things at the wrong time. Once you've had a look at that, now you want to define what your critical success factors are for your role in your business. And the simplest way to look at this is, if I didn't do these 1 to 3 things, would my business fail? So, for example, if I don't sell in my business, would my business fail? Yes. If you have a sales team and your job is just to lead the sales team, then cool. You don't need to make sales. You need to lead and coach the team to make sure that they make sales. See the difference? So if you're the actual salesperson, you put the proposals out, you have the meetings, you go to the networking things, you're responsible and you need to have on your list sales as one of your critical success factors. If you don't and you have a sales team that do that, then you're going to have on your critical success factors lead. If you have any employees or any contractors working for you, one of your critical success factors is going to be to lead. Your job is to help them meet the standards and expectations of the organization, of your business, by leading and coaching and supporting them. That might be making sure they're doing things in alignment with your vision, where we're going as a business, why we're going there with regard to our mission or our purpose in the business, and our behavioral standards with our values. It could also be helping them meet the operational standards. Those will sit inside your systems. In our world, inside the success map. You might talk SOPs or an employee handbook. but you need something that are operational standards. Leadership sits under that category, making sure that your team have the training, the coaching, and the support to deliver on the role that they have inside your business. If you're still involved in making the chocolate or creating the socks and that didn't happen, then the business will probably fail. If you are still in client service, like you're an accountant or a lawyer or a designer and you still do that piece of the work, if you don't deliver on that, no one's going to pay your bills. So delivery might be one of your critical success factors. Those are probably the key ones that come up for most of my business owners. One that often gets missed is systems and processes. So if you're in the early days and you haven't built systems and processes yet, systems are definitely a critical success factor, because this is how we leverage you. We leverage you through systems that are using technology or are using other people to be able to deliver on what you do the way you want it done without you having to constantly nag or micromanage, right? So systems might be a critical success factor. So define what are those 1 to 3 factors in your business that if you don't do them or you did them badly, your business would fail. And it isn't answer my emails, attend meetings, or pay bills, because you can't pay bills without doing sales. You can't pay bills without managing costs. So think about it like that in terms of what's the highest level theme here that enables me to do the thing. Oh, well, if I don't pay my bills, my business will fail. Yep, but you can't cut costs to a point where you can pay all your bills. At some point, you're going to have to go out and do sales. I know people like to avoid it, but that's the way it is. And then once you know what the ratio is by auditing things, you've figured out what your critical success factors are. Now, when you block next week, you're going to block your critical success factors first. If you're in the Moxie movement and the Done by 3 Club or the Moxie Business Advantage, you'd come join us doing your power hour each week, next week, to make sure that we hit those critical success factors. And they go in before everything else, before admin, before social media, before tweaking your website. These go in as blocked projects, because if you're not focused on these success factors, nobody is in your business. If you're not the one taking the priority and going, hey, these are the things that actually matter, these are the things that actually make this business thrive, no one in your business is doing it, because you're the leader. You're the owner. You're the person that has to take responsibility for ensuring that the right things get done in the right order. So if you're running around ticking things off a to-do list and getting the dopamine high off it, I absolutely get it. It's an easy way to feel like you're being productive. But if you're doing that and feeling like you're not getting anywhere in your business, I can promise you that coming back to these critical success factors instead is going to make a huge difference. And you're not going to feel like you're losing the game. Every day in business, you tick 4 things off and 10 more things go on the list. If you think about it in terms of your critical success factors, you'll find that over time, you're going to build and build and build progress in terms of how you're making your money and how you're building your better future all the time, so that your business can be profitable and you can be present in all the parts of your life that you want to be in. Your to-do list might make you feel busy, but your critical success factors, they'll make you profitable. Let's stop being productive at the wrong things and start building a business that actually makes you present and profitable. Till next time, stay Moxie.